Hello, my name's Tragic O'Hara, and this is volume 1 of this book tour I was going to call it. Before I tell you more about it, I have a set of rules for writing these books, right? I can't show you all of it, so there'll be certain bits that will be blurred out and stuff, and the reason I can't show you is because either it's not happened yet or it's part of a bigger thing that I'm working on. I'll just take you on a tour of the stuff that I write down, right? My rule is this: if I think about it for more than 3 minutes, it goes in the book, regardless of whether it's a good idea or not. If it is a good idea, or if it's worth pursuing or thinking about more, it will appear naturally. I never look through these books. I never look back through them. This is the first time I've ever looked back through an entire book. Because you're constantly thinking about a thing, it just keeps appearing. So it's not like you need to look back and refer to it. It's almost like you've wrote it in there, so you've took a note of it at the same time. That's how it feels when I use this. I use it for everything that I think about. But predominantly walrus chasing. I date them at the beginning, and I write when I finished at the end. So I know how many months it took me to fill this book. This book in particular it's not half filled, but there's pages missing out of it because I stole that. Stole that book when I was working at a place. Somebody left it after a meeting, and they'd only written in the first kind of 4 pages or something like that, and I was like, that's a nice book, man. So I took it. So that's why there's a big bit missing at the front there. See that, right? Those books that I showed you in the last video, they fell apart really quickly when I was carrying them about. So I'd kept this book for years. It just sat empty. And then after I'd written the job description, I was like, right, I'm going to start writing books again. I don't know why I ever stopped doing it. It just stopped. When I get kind of lost in the what, that's what happened. I just kind of stopped doing it. This is my book. I'm going to take you through it now, right? So the first thing I ever wrote around this was the 29th of January 2021. Now, I hadn't came up with the professional walrus chaser thing yet. So as you can see, I'd actually just written Tragic O'Hara, artist, musician, problem solver. That's what it was before I was like, no, I'm a walrus chaser. Before, because I'd written that and I just didn't put a name on it. I just kept saying chase the walrus. I've been saying chase the walrus for 4 years. Just chasing the walrus, man. Just saying it out loud. Chasing the walrus. And it wasn't until a couple of days after that. It'll probably be in here. It says I'm not to sell it. Don't know why. Don't know why, but I'm not to sell this, right? So see that thing there? Right, that was the first thing I ever wrote down, and that was an idea for a music video. Right, it was a song I'd written, and I started to record again because I just moved in here, and there was 2 things I wanted to do. The first thing I wanted to do was put a fisheye lens on a mobile phone and then film everything. I've got a longboard and drag everything backwards and walk towards it singing. I bought a devil mask, and what I wanted to do is paint that wall with a Deadpool, paint that green, and then paint that mask green. And then what would happen was I would sing into the camera, and the stuff would project on my face and the green screen. That's what I wanted to do. Never done it. Can't show you that. Can't show you this. That's the whole thing. That's why I need to cover it. That's the whole thing. That was the 28th of the 12th, 20. I started writing in this before I actually done the thing. Right, that makes sense. So this was the whole thing. This was it starting. This idea of what's inside this box started there. Idea for a podcast about drawing. Actually, that's kind of funny because this is where this is kind of went, right? Have a look at that, right? I'm not going to show you. I don't want to write down the list of people that I thought I was going to bring on it because that's a bit kind of the. But what I was going to do was I was going to start a podcast where I'd meet people, but I'd draw a portrait of them when I was talking to them, and then we talked about it would come up in the thing, and then they'd get the drawing at the end. That was the idea. So I wrote that. Never done it. I can't show you anything on this page apart from this. Can't show you anything apart from that because that's the robot. That's the robot. See the robot I've been talking about for the last, year? Build my robot. There you go. Building a robot. Building a robot. I'm not even going to tell you any more about that. Building a robot. That's the first time I ever thought about this robot. Page. This is how it works, man. 1, 2, 3, 4. Page 5 of the first book. That was the robot idea, right? And it appears in every single book since then. The robot. Hi, that's a good idea, actually. Right, so I had an idea where I wanted to do. There it's there. I can't show you this page. This here. I wanted to do a mixtape, right? When I make a beat, I make 10 instrumentals, beats, right? Which I can probably do now because I just get that set up yesterday. 10 instrumentals, and then what I'd do is I'd hand it to someone that I like them their style, the way they rap, right? And I give it to someone and I go, right, you pick a track and put some vocals down. You pass it to another MC. I don't care who it is. You just pass it to another MC and let them pick a track. Then that person passes it to another one, and then eventually the last person that gets it sends it back to me, and there's an album of these 10 MCs, and I don't know who they are. I don't know who the first one is, and we pass it on. So it was like a pass the mixtape. That's what I was calling it, pass the mixtape. Instead of pass the mic, pass the mixtape. That's a good idea. Let me write that down. That's a good idea, pass the mixtape. Cannot show you anything on that page. Oh man, right. That there is remember the Tragic Tombola?
I sent it at 8 minutes past 4 and I'd sold one by... I've sold 2.
That was it. That was the beginning of the Tragic Tombola. Like when I came up with that idea of selling those tickets and stuff. There we go. Right, this is another thing in the book. There, my bust pipe theory. That was another thing in the book. This was when I would have started working on the book. Yeah, that was how I was going to sort. I came up with an idea about how to teach, how classes could get taught online. How classes could be taught online. That's why I'm not a teacher. I don't even know why I was doing that. I don't even know why, but it never appeared again. Because it doesn't matter what it is. Like, that's the thing. Like, it doesn't matter what it is, I put it down. Because you just don't know what it will turn into. You don't know where you start. It's got to come through somewhere, but it doesn't come instantly. Well, it certainly doesn't come instantly for me. There's the book. Here's the book. Here it is here. There it's here. Practical Guide to Walrus Chasing by Tragic O'Hara. There's the front cover of the book. That's what I want it to be. Remember that stone walrus? That's what it started. Chapter 1, why I'm writing this book. Chapter 2, what I'm doing. I've not even finished the book yet. Can't show you that. Can't show you that. There's the book cover. As you can see, photograph it. That never happened. It turned into something completely different by that point, right? That there is the beginning of the grey area. See that triangle? See that whole grey area thing I done the book about, and I made the thing and all that. I can't even really show you that because you can see what's in the back, right? Because there's a thing in the back and you can kind of see it through it. So I can't even really show you that, but it is the beginning of it. I can show you that bottom bit. See how it's like the triangle? Like that was the beginning of the grey area. Yep, and there it's there. That's the next page is me. That's all the things I was going to write about. All these different things. Robert Johnson, that get binned like as soon as I wrote it. That was like, nope, that doesn't work. Vision boards, the third option. The burst type theory, reframing, rule 0, rule 0.5, the self-belief thing. I hadn't made the self-belief switch yet, but I was doing it. I was trying to figure it out, man. So I thought the book was nearly done before the summer happened, right? That's for another video, right? But it's not done even a wee bit, right? It's the closest it's ever been. It's been a year and a half I've been working on it. All the words are there. They're just not in the right order. This is all good. This is all book stuff. I was obviously on an absolute tirade of book stuff. Can't show you any of this stuff. Can't show you it, right? But see this. Do you remember that making a thing video about dripping the paint and turning it into something? That happened. I don't know when that happened after that, but that was the first time I'd written that down. And it never worked. It never worked the way I thought it was going to work. Which seems to be a recurring theme, right? There's a mystery box. There's a mystery box. So this, I'd have 25th of June. I don't think I even mentioned the mystery box by the time we got to June. But there it's there. There's the mystery box. Right, now if you don't know what the mystery box is, this is the mystery box. I made a video about it.
Hello, my name's Tragic O'Hara and I am a professional walrus chaser.
So like what a professional walrus chaser is, I think it's called. And it talks about this box. If you want to find out more about it, that's it. But I've been still kind of trying to figure it out, but I've cracked it now. I cracked it and I write about it. There's a big chapter in the book about it. Right. I done this. I can't tell you about this. But the reason I can't tell you about this is because I'd forgot about this. And then when I done my micro rants thing at Yardworks.
My name's Tragic O'Hara. I'm a professional walrus chaser.
I told that story. So I'm not going to tell you that story because I think it's a good story. So if you ever want to know that story, then you'll need to come and see me if I ever do another performance thing where I'll tell that story. Can't show you that. Can't show you that. So like my wife works with adults with additional support needs and complex needs and stuff like that. Well, not so much. She's got her own thing. She's doing a really cool kind of mental health and mindfulness and like sound baths and Reiki and stuff. Like really, I love it, man. Right, so that's what she's doing now. It's called the Umbrella Holistic Approach. Right, when she was working more with with adults in the place with adults with complex needs, I was trying to make instruments. Right, that's when I was making those one-string diddly bows. Right, and I decided I wanted to make. I made this thing. That was it. That was the idea there. Right, but it was like metal wire and screws for machine heads. Right, so it didn't matter if you could play a guitar. What you would do is you would just turn the screw until the note sounded good. You would just play it. So I made like a couple of prototypes, and it never really kind of worked. But that was that. That was me trying to figure that thing out. I'm going to put that there in my music thing. I'm going to sample that. Bought a briefcase to put stuff in and take it in. I thought if you're a professional walrus chaser, you should have a briefcase when you're walking in. That's a good idea. I've not even got the logo on that. I should put the... So I did that. I actually done that, right? And then when I'm doing my walrus... I don't even know what I'm calling it. My crash course in walrus chasing. When I'm teaching that in schools, I turn up with this briefcase. And I carry all my things that I need to teach walrus chasing. When I'm out there teaching. So I can't show you this, right? But that's how Act 1 works of this. And then... Act 2. So there's plans for the next bit. I can't even show you that. I can't believe I wrote that the 25th of June last year. I wrote that. I just figured that bit out yesterday. Do you remember when that video I made about the stand-up thing? It was like, if I ever do stand-up, that there. No, does it? I don't think you can see that. Oh, that was just a vertical chessboard I was trying to make. I know that sounds mad, right? But the vertical chessboard was because I was trying to learn chess, how to get better at chess, and I was trying to play myself, basically because I was just listening to too much jizza, right? So then what happened was I kept, every time I'd try and do it, something would happen and I'd spill the chessboard all over the place. So I thought, what if I put it on the wall, and then what happens is it's on like a wheel. So every time I make a move, I turn it round. And then I would know more than if it's at the bottom, then that's the next move. I thought I should probably explain that rather than just say I was trying to make a vertical chessboard, like a pure, pretentious chess playing teacher thing. Do you know what I mean? I can't show you that bit at the top, that bit there, that note there, can't show you that, right? But this bit here was my rock and roll stories. That's what that was. I'll need to blur out a couple of names, right? But like that was my rock and roll stories. That was the beginning of how I would, if I ever done stand-up, that was some of the stories. And the dead bird one is the one that you heard. This one before that, I've got an idea of when I'm going to tell that one. Right, I'll show you this. If you don't want the book to be spoiled, skip forward 30 seconds, right? It's not going to be spoiled, but there's a bit in it, right? And it's this. This was me trying to figure out how the universe works. That's all I'm showing you. That was me just trying to figure out how it works. Make a self-belief switch. That was the beginning of it, and that's what it was going to look like. This is mental. So I really hadn't figured out what this book was until about this point. Right? The next one I started writing was, that's number 3, that's number 2. Number 2 was on 25th of June 2021, right? So just over a year ago, and I finished that book on the 26th of October. So it's about 3 months worth of thinking. That was the first thing of the sculpture. Remember see the jellyfish sculpture? Remember I made that, I was telling you that joke about the robot legs? Well, that is actually the robot legs. That's what it was. That was me trying to figure out the robot leg thing. There we go. That was me planning out Act 1, Act 2 and Act 3. I can't really show you anything on this page, but as you can see, you've got Act 1, Act 2 and Act 3. Right, remember when I binned the whole Lucy and the Sky with Diamonds thing? Like I built that thing and then I threw it in the bin and then I started again. Well, that was the plan for after it, right? Now that I built that box, if you watch that video, you know I built that box, and that box sat there since I'd done that, right? And I don't know when that would have been. May last year, a year ago. That's now there, taken apart. And I took the whole thing apart because I had to make a splash guard for that Micro Rants thing. So I just ripped that box apart and it became that pile of nonsense. Look, see, build this tomorrow. Yeah, and I'll never put it back together again. It's sat there for that long. I obviously don't care about it now. It's not high up my list of priorities. This will happen one day, right? Definitely. I want to do this, but it's not going to happen right now. So I just binned that, and then I've put that music unit in there for making music. This was the beginning of the jellyfish, and this was when I was starting to try and figure out what it was going to look like. So that would have been way before, like I don't even know, like a year before it even happened. It's me talking to myself, man. I'll blur all of that out, right? But you can see that you are worth what you decide you are worth. See that thing there? I was really struggling with pricing myself, like really pricing my time and what I think I should be getting. And whenever somebody was messaging me, I was talking myself down in the amount of money that I should be making a day for what I do. And that was the point when I was like, I'm not doing this anymore. Like I'm not going to show you that bit, right? But you can see here it says no single hours from now on. Because I used to do it, I'll turn up for an hour and do it, but it takes you an hour to get there and an hour to get back and an hour to set it up and an hour to put everything back in its place. So it's really 5 hours. And I was only making 1 hour's worth of money. So I'm not doing that anymore. Like I'm not doing it. I'll do a half day and I'll do a full day. That's it. That was one of the best things I ever done. Hands down. And from that point on, the whole thing kind of changed. From that point, where it was like I now have the resources. Like I'm like, no, this is how much it costs, and it allows me to come in here and think about my robot. Because eventually the robot will turn into something else, and it's like, I don't know. But that's probably worth saying, because it took a lot of thinking to actually just write it down and go, right, you're worth what you decide you're worth. That's it. And trying to work from there. That made things a lot easier, just doing that. And writing things like that, I have 20 years experience, because I do. I started this when I was 15. All those books in the first video started when I was 15. Like, I have 20 years experience. Oh! Microrants. Can't show you this. Microrants. See the book with all the labels and all the different things and all that? That exhibition that I'm doing, that was at starting then. So that, when was it? June last year. Started writing that stuff down. And that was the book that accompanies the Microrants. This is a rant dated the 7th of the 6th, 21. But that was like a rant about, what was I saying? I used to do this quite a lot when I was younger. I'd write down, there you go, about the position of life, and usually horrible nonsense about who I went to school with. I like to think I came out of it since then. Hopefully I'm in a weird stage in my life where I think things are starting to pay off. All the failures, mistakes and time I spent trying to make more than just a living from being creative is starting to work. Now I feel as if I'm letting people down. Aye, that was hard, man. People I've worked with before that I could potentially help with a project, and I'm having to say that I can't, and it's not out of badness. It's because for the first time ever, I'm being able to make the things I want. For the first time ever, I'm being able to make the things that I want, and the people, and I can't just drop everything at such short notice to go and paint a wall with someone's logo anymore. I landed a sculpture last week. It's something I never ever thought I would ever get to do, and I did. With my idea, do you know what I mean? Like it was my idea, and now not some watered down thing, something from my brain, something a bit mad, and I'm over my moon with the prospect. That's why I have to say no now to certain things, and I'm getting to become the person I want to be, the person I'm supposed to be, that deep down I always knew I should have been. I wanted to be able to share the things I have, share the things I've learned from others so that they can become the person they want to be. Me painting logos for other people takes time away from being that person, and time is the most valuable thing we have as finite beings in an infinite spectrum. Others could use that logo painting as a way to find their aspirations and pass it on the same way when they're ready to jump. I'm not being a bastard by being focused on my goal. I'm not a dick by chasing the walrus. I would be a dick if I was chasing the money and unwilling to pass opportunities on to others, but I'm a professional walrus chaser, not a professional people pleaser. Jesus Christ. I have a why, and I'm going to make it happen. This book itself is part of the story, and I should write this stuff down. So that's what I wrote. Jesus Christ. I never thought I'd ever read anything like that out in front of other people while I'm alone in a room by myself. can't show you that because that's highly illegal. And then I wrote this. I wrote this. Every time I finish a book, I should do a video looking back through some of the things in the book, but I should blur out the things I don't want people to see. Know how some folks have black books? But this is my black book. I should do a playlist showing some of this stuff that happened, some of the stuff that didn't happen, and some of the stuff that might happen. 4 of them.
5 of them.
4 of them. Thank you very much. Next time, don't know.